Alright, so what's up everybody? My name is Obed Romero. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of nerd stuff, anime, music, movies, things like that. And so yeah, for this first video, what I'm going to be doing is talking about the Dragon Ball superhero movie. I'm a little late on it, so I'm just going to get into it. This is going to be a spoiler review. So if you haven't seen it, maybe you want to come back to this later. So let's get into it. The beginning, I'll be honest, it's kind of rough. The beginning of this movie is rough. It really gives you a whole bunch of information, and if you're not well versed in the Dragon Ball universe, everything it talks about, the lore, it can be kind of a drag to catch on, even if you are a fan, to be honest. But even so, if you hang in there, there's a real good payoff. Dr. Hedo being a new character in Magenta, if you're hesitant to new characters being introduced, they end up being great. I like them personally. We get into Piccolo, who becomes pretty much the main protagonist of this movie, in my opinion. Yeah, he's training Pan. It's great to see her seeing him become a surrogate father once again. So yeah, that's gonna be a continued meme that keeps happening about Piccolo and his parenting. So he's training with Pan. It's really cool. Pan is adorable. Love Pan. She was great. The training regimen that she's going through, the intro scene that she's going through with Piccolo, awesome. And so we see this babysitting stuff going on with, the Gohan family and all that stuff. Finally, though, we get into our first big fight, and that's the meeting with Piccolo and Gamma, one of the Gammas. And so I personally, when I first got into Dragon Ball superhero, seeing the Gammas was one of the things that was the most boring for me. When I just saw them, they looked kind of bland, the gray on them. I wasn't really looking forward to meeting them. I was being kind of bitter. I can be kind of bitter whenever I start a new anime and see new characters and stuff like that. But they grew on me. I really liked them. I thought they kicked ass. That first fight really was awesome. I liked the effects that they brought on, that Dr. Hedo gave them to look like, your typical superhero comic book kind of thing with the kaboom and all that stuff. And I also liked that it was a built-in feature too. It wasn't just, an effect. It was a great first fight, I thought. And so from there, we see this whole other agency from the Red Ribbon Army when Piccolo follows one of the Gammas. I thought it was cool, kind of, I don't know if it was inspired by or if it was kind of a derivative or whatever it was from the Marvel Universe, seeing as how Black Panther kind of had something similar like that. Basically this other location that others can't see. You have to go through this portal kind of thing. From there, it's Piccolo kind of gathering all this information. The second half of the film is when Gohan gets involved. Basically, the Red Ribbon Army gets a hold of Pan. He finds out about it and he freaks out. He gets angry, gets pissed off. He wants to find out what's going on, which is what he does. And we finally get to see him in a fight. We get a series of fights once Gohan is introduced. I love the scene too. I love the scenery with the rain going up against one of the Gammas. I was a fan of the fight. Initially, I wasn't too sure about how I felt about him kind of being, he hadn't trained in a while, so he wasn't strong enough to beat up one of the Gammas, which is fine, I suppose. He's been out of the game for a while. Anyhow, he ends up being able to kick ass and where he fights and experiences these concerns regarding the people he cares for. So then we get the biggest fight of them all. And the biggest fight was, of course, with Cell Max. And I personally love this fight. It's hard not to compare this fight to what we saw with Broly, right? Because it's what we want to do. They were both in the theaters. They were both big films, the animation. There was a differentiation in it. There is definitely differences 100%. With Broly, we got more of a fight between Goku, Vegeta, and Broly, just 3 people. With this one, we got a fight. It was kind of like an Avengers-like kind of thing. Multiple people got involved, which I liked. I liked all these people becoming involved in kicking a lot of ass with this. We got the involvement of Gotenks, which I thought was cool to see. I thought it was hilarious. The jokes landed with Gotenks. I thought they made a little bit too many jokes about his ass, but whatever, man. It was actually useful with breaking a part of Cell's head. Yeah, a lot of the jokes landed, though, throughout the film. Like, they did Krillin dirty with one of the jokes, if you know what I'm talking about. We get to see Android 18, some of the other fighters, too. And I really enjoyed just seeing them together and just all of these dynamic kind of camera work. That's one of the things you really saw. Like maybe you saw somebody fight through this kind of like angle, and the camera work would kind of like turn as you're watching it, or follow you as you're going into another direction with the fight. So that was really cool to see. The animation was actually one of the things that when I first saw this, like the trailer, I know a lot of us complained about this, that the animation looked like PlayStation 2, PlayStation 3 graphics. And there are parts where that really does show. Particularly some parts that show up in my mind are when I believe they were riding in a vehicle under some kind of tunnel. It just looked really bland, bare bones of what was shown on the screen. Otherwise, I was surprised by the animation. I really thought it kicked ass, especially during the fights. Although I would say I still prefer the Broly animation better. That animation was beautiful, amazing. No competition for me personally. I would prefer the Broly animation. 100%. The fight keeps going on between everybody getting together. I was a little surprised that Cell Max, something that was built by a human, was that strong. I mean, I guess I get it. I think one of the things that goes wrong with Dragon Ball is how seriously you take the narrative. So Dragon Ball, when I go watch it, I don't really take the narrative that seriously anymore. It has to abide by these rules, otherwise it's, I'm going to hate it, I'm not going to like it because it's not following these rules. With Dragon Ball, what you really have to do, at least for what I do, is I just go in it to have fun. And when I go in it to just have fun, I actually just have fun. You got to kind of turn off your mind for it. Otherwise, you can find yourself criticizing it a lot, whether it's the power scaling is probably one of the biggest ones, actually, as we eventually get to the big reveal. We get Orange Piccolo with Gohan Beast. We all know Orange Piccolo could have been named better, whatever, it is what it is. He still looks sick as hell. I love the Orange Piccolo look, the power up, all of that. And some people dislike it, some people like it. I like it. I like the Gohan Beast form. I thought it was sick. Some of the images we get with Gohan Beast, his hair looks a little too spiky. There's a little bit too much hair, but otherwise, I still really enjoyed it. It's color wide. He's got the differences in the eyes. I thought it was sick. The only thing I didn't like about the Gohan Beast transformation is we didn't get that much of him. I wish we had a little bit more. He probably showed on screen for 5 minutes, maybe something like that. He didn't do all that much. Well, granted, he probably didn't need to do that much because it was so powered up, but still, even when we saw the fusion over in Broly, Vegeta, we saw Gogeta, that was on for a while, and that was really sick. I really wanted to get some more Gohan. Either way, the way he finished it off with that special beam cannon and training in the background with it, I thought it was a great tribute to Piccolo. It kind of carries on this kind of father-son ultimate move thing that Gohan has. SSJ2, he had that father-son Kamehameha. This one, he had this kind of surrogate father kind of moment. Everything about that fight was awesome. I really loved it. I personally put it up there with the Broly fight in terms of my entertainment with it. Yeah, the end of the movie, things calm down. It ends well. It was kind of strange to see them kind of throw it away, saying things like, oh yeah, let's just pretend like this never happened. Very odd, but again, with Dragon Ball, you really just have to just turn off your mind and have fun. And that's what I'm here for. I want to see transformations. I want to see beams. I want to see fights and characters that I really like. Which they have plenty of. I say watch this movie, support this movie if you haven't already. If I had to give it a score, I'm gonna give it an 8 out of 10. Gohan Beast, he's my boy personally. Anyways, thank you everybody for watching. Please subscribe, please like the video, and I look forward to making more videos for you guys. So thank you so much. Take care.